It's November, Halloween is over, and if you're one of those people that's really sensitive to scary movies and stuff like that, and you're looking for movies to watch that will make you feel good and get rid of maybe the spookier feelings that you felt over the past month, here are my top 10 recommendations for feel-good movies. Number 10, Tomorrowland. This is a movie about optimism and changing the future for the better. Brad Bird's vision of the future with all the technology is very imaginative, the story is pretty well told, and it's got a great cast. And especially with the news cycle these days, constantly preaching doomsday and being very, this is the end. This is a movie that says all is not lost. You can change the future for the better. And it's really a shame that nobody saw this movie. So it got such a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think that deterred people from it. But really, if you sit down and watch the movie, it's a very good, very feel-good movie. Number 9, Paddington and Paddington 2. I'm cheating a little bit, but I had to put both of these together because they're both equally feel-good. In fact, the second movie has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is very, very rare. Paddington is a lovable character whose innocence is very charming, and he just loves everyone around him, and he gets into all sorts of mischief without meaning to, which makes for some great antics. He's just this bear in this world of humans, trying to navigate as best as he can, and making a few mistakes along the way, but also learning from them, and even changing the people around him for the better. Number 8, Enchanted. This is a movie that just makes you feel very positive because Amy Adams and James Marsden come from this fairy tale world where true love always saves the day, and they're put in the real world of New York City where everyone they meet has this very cynical worldview, and they prove them wrong, and they just change everyone's lives for the better. Number 7, The Princess Bride. This is one of the most iconic, quotable movies of all time with a great cast. It's very witty, and it's got everything. Fencing, fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, miracles. The whole movie is just a good time, and it's one of my favorites. Number 6, The Lego Movie. I was debating as to whether to include Lego Batman as well, because I love that movie, but I decided between the two of them because I don't like Lego Ninjago that much, so I don't really count it. But I said between either Lego Movie or Lego Batman that the Lego Movie was the more feel-good type movie. Chris Pratt's character is this nobody who comes into his circumstances by accident. There's the prophecy about the chosen one who will defeat the villain, which is very overdone, but the movie plays with it by making him this complete idiot and having fun with it. But what makes this movie stand out as a feel-good movie, besides just how witty and hilarious it is the end, which I won't spoil if you haven't seen it, but I don't think there was a single dry eye from any of the adults when I saw it. It's very heartfelt and it's super feel-good. Number 5, The Emperor's New Groove. This is one of those movies that's just super funny, has a hilarious script. The two villains in the movie steal the show and are so hilarious, and it's not a typical Disney movie, but in the best way. This is one of those movies where if we're on a road trip, it's pretty much required viewing because it is so entertaining. I've seen it hundreds of times and I never get tired of it. Number 4, Christopher Robin. This is the movie to take you back to your childhood where the only limit was your imagination and you didn't have a care in the world. I think it's an important movie because as adults we tend to kind of forget what it was like to be a kid, and this is the film to remind you. Also, side note, it's Hook with Winnie the Pooh, and Hook kind of qualifies as well, but I've seen Christopher Robin more times than I have Hook, which I'm sorry, but I don't own Hook for some reason, but Christopher Robin's the most I've seen it more times, but even though they're literally the same movie, except one's Peter Pan and one's Winnie the Pooh, so I guess it applies to Hook as well. So it's Christopher Robin and Hook, I guess, on the same list. Number 3, School of Rock. Jack Black is just awesome in this movie, and the story is very heartwarming because at first he takes this teaching job under the guise of a lie, and he does it for very selfish reasons. But as the film goes on, he really starts to appreciate these kids and really connect with them and help them out with their problems. It's just a very sweet movie, and it's a lot of fun. Jack Black's awesome. He's awesome at everything, and this is also a really good movie. Number 2, Bedtime Stories. This is one of the few, if only, Adam Sandler movies that isn't super lowbrow or crass or annoying. It's this very sweet story with a lot of imagination where it's this premise of, what if the stories he's telling his niece and nephew, what if they started coming true? And he kind of uses that at first to kind of maybe do it for his own self-interest, but he learns a lesson at the end. And also, it is just this really good movie about childlike imagination, and really, it is a very sweet movie at its core. And number 1 is The Greatest Showman. The music in this movie is fantastic, the actors are awesome, and the message is great. It's very uplifting. When I saw this movie, I was like, I think my mom would enjoy this movie, so I recommended it to her, and she really enjoyed it too, and everybody loves this movie. Now, when this movie came out, everybody at my church saw it probably like 10 times. We all loved it. So I was like, it really is a fantastic feel-good movie, and it comes in at number 1. So go ahead and share your top 10 feel-good movies. Obviously, our list is going to be very different because it's a very broad spectrum. Heck, when I made this list, I had like 20, and I had to narrow it down to just 10. So obviously, this is a very broad spectrum. But go ahead and share your feel-good movies, and I will see you next time.